This tutorial covers completing and submitting both progress and final reports. So let's start in the Progress Report module. When a project first becomes active in REEport, a Progress Report shell is automatically created in the Progress Reports in Draft folder for that project. So here we can see all the reporting shells that have been automatically created for all the active projects. So this report is automatically dated to cover the first reporting period for that project, and you can determine that by looking at the reporting period end date. Now, depending on the length of the project, for how many years it goes, after completing and submitting this first report, a second shell is automatically created by REEport to cover the next annual reporting period, and so on until the project is complete. So, for example, since REEport works on the federal fiscal year, the first progress report may cover only a partial year. For example, if a project begins on May 1st of 2013, the first reporting shell that it creates would have a reporting period of May 1st, 2013 till September 30th of 2013. Or in other words, from the start date in May 1st, to the end of the federal fiscal year. After submitting that first report, then the second shell that is created would automatically be created in the draft folder and would cover now from October 1st of 2013 until September 30th of 2014. Okay, let's go ahead and open one up for completion. Okay. So the first page we come to is the cover page. On this page there are no fields to complete, and so we can just go ahead and click Next. Note that if you have any questions about a particular field on any page, remember the embedded help text next to the field where you can get more information about completing a section. So for example, this required field here for actual FTEs for this reporting period only. You can click that and get more information about how to complete this section. Also note the Nothing to Report box. We already have some information completed on this one, but let's say, for example, in a reporting period for this particular field, if you have nothing to report, then you can use that Nothing to Report checkbox. So we'll click Next and save, move on to Target Audience. I'm just going to go ahead and use Nothing to Report on this page. And now for under Products, we have Publications. So there's a drop down and you can choose various different types of publications. And then you would choose its status. I'll say it's published. And then you choose the year that it was published. And then your standard citation and whether or not NIFA support was acknowledged in your publication. And then if I have more publications to add, I click the blue plus and it gives me another publication field to fill out. And I'll remove that. Okay, we're on to Other Products. This gives you expanded types of products to choose, whether it's audio and video, data, databases, models, new germplasm, so forth and so on. So you can choose from there, from the drop down, put in a short description, help text if you need guidance on how to complete that. Again, I can add more products here or remove them. Okay, here on the accomplishment screen, here it feeds back to you the goals that were listed for this project at project initiation. And so in light of the goals that are listed here or stated here, then you answer the below questions. What was accomplished under these goals? Opportunities for training and professional development. meant that the project provided. We could do nothing to report, or we could fill it in. How have the results been disseminated to communities of interest? And what do you plan to do during the next reporting period to accomplish the goals? This is exactly the same as the final report, I'll point out here. With the difference on this last question is if you're doing the final report, your project is terminating, and so then here you would choose nothing to report. And that's indicated with some slightly different wording in the final report. Alright, so we click Next and save our work. We'll use nothing to report here. Actually, I'm going to leave this blank, and we'll click Next and save. And now we're ready to submit. Although we have an error, and that's why I left that blank on purpose, is because when you get to the end and you're ready to submit your report for internal review, if anything is incomplete, it'll highlight the errors here. And then each error is listed, which is clickable, and will take you back to the page so that you can correct your errors. So there I fill in that section, click Next and save, takes me to submit. Now it's ready to be submitted. So if we need to review it or print it out, we can click this button, which will show us the report we just completed in a PDF document. And then we would click here to submit for review. Okay, it takes us back to the progress report screen, and we can see that our project has moved down here into pending submission to NIFA, and now can be reviewed, internal review, and then submitted to NIFA by a site administrator, at which point then it will move down to the final folder. Okay, now let's take a look at the final report module. The final report module, like I said, is exactly the same as progress report module with only two exceptions. Okay, we'll go in here and we'll see here that the reporting date will show the end date, indicating that it's covering the entire length of the project from beginning to end. I'll choose a project and we'll go into it, and so you can see it lists the start dates from beginning to end. And the other difference is that when the final report is submitted to NIFA, that is what terminates your project. And you may submit the final report at any time. So if you're terminating the project early for whatever reason, this is how you would do it, by submitting a final report. But again, it's exactly the same as the progress report in that all the pages and fields are identical.